Dave, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Talk about Coach Brock. What type of coach is he? He's turning that Delaware program around. I know the last couple of years he's been having some off years, but what type of coach is he?
Well, I think he's, Dave's reputation is a really sharp offensive mind. And, Dave, wherever he's been, this goes back to Hofstra and then North Carolina and then Kansas State, BC, and Rutgers, has always done a really good job with the offense. He's a really good quarterback coach. And I think, he understands the passing game well, but the other thing about Dave is there's certainly the core of it is a very physical downhill run game. And that allows them to get good opportunities in the pass game, whether it be the play-action game or the boot game. And, again, Dave is a very good football coach, has a very good reputation, and he knows what he's doing. You can tell it on film. Again, they have a personality and they have an identity.
I know you were watching the film of last year when they played North Carolina and they rushed over like 200 yards against North Carolina. Is that something in the back of your mind that you do not want to see on Saturday?
I wouldn't say it's in the back of my mind. It's in front of my mind. We've watched that tape and just, what gets you is how well, they moved the front. It wasn't fluky. I mean, they had really good down blocks. Their zone combinations pushed the pile, and they created gaps in space. And then their backs did a nice job once they got in space. And again, it was not gimmicky. It wasn't like reverses or trick plays. I mean, it was their core run game. Their zone stuff, their pin and pull stuff, and they're very good at it. Their down blocks are good. Their pullers react to linebacker flow very well, and their backs have very good vision on it. So, again, whenever you have a football team that knows what they're doing and how to execute it with good players, that's always a concern.
Well, I hope you have a great game on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. Hi, I'm here with Thomas Jefferson, the running back from Delaware, who this week they head on down to North Carolina to take on a very good Wake Forest team, who is also 2-0. So, Thomas, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's talk about last 2 weeks. You last week, 2 touchdowns against Lehigh. Now you're going down to face a very tough ACC opponent. So, what's the feeling like up there in Newark?
Feeling is we're all the same age. There's no reason, honestly, to be worried about it. You got to go out there and play. They're a very physical defense. We just have to look for those teams that are going to be there because they're a heavy defense. So that's all we're doing, going out there and playing.
I know last year you went down to you played North Carolina and you had a big game, 2 touchdowns against that North Carolina defense. So is it something that you're hoping to have a repeat of?
I mean, I hope to have that every week, to be honest, but definitely, I'm just, honestly, I just want to win. If it's a dirty one, then it's going to have to be a dirty one. If it's a clean win, it's clean, but, I'm just out there playing for my teammates.
Yeah. What was it like being on the radio show tonight up there, being the center of attention? How was that tonight?
Oh, I love it. I love speaking in front of the fans. Like, Delaware has the greatest fan set, and they're super loyal. They still love. Whenever you see them, it's the greatest fan set.
Yeah. And you're a junior, so you've been around for 2 years. What are you majoring up there in Delaware?
I'm majoring in criminal justice. I hope to, soon, I'm pick up a double major in psychology also. So I'll be hopefully.
Yeah. You could play the NFL during the day, and then you could be a cop at night. That'd be great. Yeah. So what are your goals this year for you in your junior season up there? What do you like to achieve? I know it's only the first 2 games of the year. So what are you looking for?
I definitely do want to get over 1,000 yards this year. I know it's going to be a little tough, because we have 3 great running backs who are getting the ball. I mean, including Eric Peck, who's going to, if we do get up with a good amount of points, he's going to be taken. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Darren carries all of them. There's probably going to be one back that has more than the other back. So, you just have to, bring us to me as we can.
Hey, it could be 2. too, because I was looking at your stats. You had 2 running backs last week. You and your counterpart went over 100 yards, so you could do 2 of them. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Thomas, I know you're a busy guy, and I know you got to get back to your studies. And thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. And I'll hopefully talk to you later down the road, or me making a trip up to Newark to watch a football game.
Thank you.
All right, man.
On film this week, they might give you a little trouble up there in Hartford, Connecticut.
You know, they're base 12 and 11 personnel. Those are 2 personnel we've seen so far. And, you know, all they're going to try to do is play action us, and that's what they're going to do, mess with our eyes. And, you know, we just have to be focused and just keep our keys and just play the game.
And we played Navy last week, tough at Navy, so it might be a very tough battle on Saturday.
It's going to be a tough battle. I mean, they're a good team, and, you know, we're a good team, and, you know, we're going out there and we're going out swinging.
Thanks.
Dedmon, one of the wide receivers for William & Mary, coming off they just played the first 2 games of the season. So just talk about your first 2 games of the year and what you guys are expecting this weekend.
The first 2 games, as you guys know, we lost the first one against NC State, but we had a pretty good showing in some aspects of the game. Last week we played Hampton. It was a dogfight. We pulled away at the end. Offense had a pretty good showing second half of the Hampton game. Quarterback Steve Cluey was putting the ball in places where only our receivers could catch the rock, and it was a pretty good showing for us.
And this week, who are you guys taking on this week?
We play Norfolk State at home.
And have you guys played them before? Have you played them before?
We played them my freshman year. They're a physical bunch, ready to hit you in the mouth, and they're going to come ready to play.
Nice. Talk about I know your stadium just got refurbished, right? Pretty much?
Yes.
Yeah, how's it like playing there after all the construction is finally over?
It's too great to look at, but we don't really focus on it. Mostly for the fans and for their entertainment. We're just going to go out and play, just like it's a regular stadium.
Well, let's talk about your play so far. What do you like what your season so far, or is there stuff for you to improve on?
There's always stuff to improve on. My coaches always harp on focusing on your technique. Get better with the little things. If you're better with the little things, then you'll be good with the bigger things. So I'm just excited about the next couple of weeks.
Talk about Coach Larry Scott. How's he doing? And so what is it like playing for him?
I remember being 8 years old and hearing Coach Larry talk for the first time and telling my parents I would love to play for this guy one day. And it's great to have him. He's kind of like a second father to me, and he's taught me a lot in the last 3 years about being not just a football player, but also as a man. So it's great to have him as a coach.
That's good. Well, Devonte, I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much. I know you have school work to do and practice, getting ready for this weekend's game, and good luck, and I hope to talk to you down the road.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. That's Devonte.
You know, I've gone against Northern Illinois 3 times in the last 3 years at 2 different institutions, and I know what that program represents, and I know how they pride themselves on being able to run the football. Rod Carey being an ex-line coach, being the head football coach, and just watching that South Florida defense versus that program was really alarming. And they basically just tore them apart and broke them down and didn't talk really nice to them. And it's going to be an extremely difficult task. They're very talented on offense. They're very talented on defense. Coach Jeffrey looks like he's got it going. And I think that we have a really, really big task in front of us. And what are the 3 keys for you to pull out a win?
Excuse me?
The 3 keys for you to pull out a win on Saturday. You know, you like to see. The 3 keys.
Well, first of all, I got to get Coach Taggart's name right. So I think the biggest thing for us is that we have to control the turnovers. We had 2 turnovers.
We have to find a way to win the kicking game. We won the kicking game against Louisville. We got to find a way to win the kicking game again. And then we've got to play better defense. I mean, you can't give up 21 points that fast in a football game and always be able to fight yourself back to a situation where you have a chance to win. We've got to find a way to play better defense early and come out of the gate ready to go.
Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
To be able to come back, that was a great college football game. They were very talented. We had a really good team too. So I mean, it looks like it's going to be the same kind of matchup again this weekend. So we don't want to get down to 21. I promise you that. And because that is a very tough environment, great crowd, great atmosphere. And again, it's not just because of those folks, but because how well coached and how good of players they have all over.
And with Lamar Jackson, running the football and passing, have you ever seen a quarterback, besides, what we had, playing against, like his style and, how he became a developed. He looked like he matured over the summer.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's matured. Well, he's matured and he's been coached very well. I think there's a combination of the two things and what's going on. The players around him are very good. So, I mean, yeah, we play guys that are dynamic, but I mean, he's as dynamic as anybody we play. There's no doubt about that.
Well, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Christopher Heidel, Herb FM Radio.
Hey, Coach Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. What are the 3 keys for Saturday to pull out a win in a hostile environment like Appalachian State? Because they're a very good team. They almost beat Tennessee.
Yeah, they did. You're exactly right. 3 keys. I mean, the bottom line is no turnovers on offense, right? No missed assignments. Okay. And we gotta get after them.
And the other,
because they're gonna get after us.
Right. Exactly. And the other question I had to ask you about Brad was, did Brad have an off week last week? Because it seemed like that's not a Brad type of game, throwing 2 interceptions. And
our pass game struggled a little bit. His second pick, he got hit as he was throwing, so he really had no control over that one. The first one, quite frankly, I didn't do a good enough job coaching him, so I'm not going to put either one of them on him, quite frankly. But, yeah, I mean, we didn't throw and catch as good as we should. And there's no question we have practiced better than that. We are better than what we did in that ball game. But the reality is we're what we show on tape. We're what we did in the game. So we're not very good right now. We got to get better.
Torn Achilles tendon.
Okay. Do you have an update too on where Nick Watkins is in his recovery?
He'll get an X-ray next week to see what type of bone growth he has in that forearm, and then that will determine, where we are relative to being able to play him this year or not.
So with him, when you say be able to play him this year or not, is there like a baseline that you need to see in this X-ray that would sort of determine that?
Yeah, we're at that point where I want to make sure that we get, with the non-union fracture and the procedure that was done on Nick, we're going to have to see some growth there that will allow us to believe that, he can come back in the next few weeks, or we'll use this as a medical redshirt year for him.
Okay. And just is Devin Butler still still remain the same?
Yes.
The pizza guy's at the door.
And then just one other thing I wanted to ask you, when you put Malik in, you gave him 1 series with the first team offensive line. What was sort of your thinking in that to give him that 1 series with McGlinchey, Nelson, those guys in there?
Well, I just think, obviously he's somebody that needs to keep sharp with the first group out there. Anytime you can give him that opportunity to continue to work with that unit, I think it just keeps him, sharp. And if he's called upon, he obviously continues that repertoire of, working with that group. So nothing more than, just early enough in the game that you can keep your first unit in there and get some work. I thought it was the right thing to do.
Thanks.
We'll now move to Tim Spicer with Irish Illustrated.
Brian, yesterday you addressed, the progress you've
made in the red zone. It's now 11 appearances, 8 touchdowns. And you talked about Kaiser going through his progression. He talked about extending plays. Can you speak to that? And is that like the next level after he goes through his progression?
Yeah, so, a lot of times when you're getting double zone down there and bracket coverage, last year he rushed into some throws, and when you're a lot more patient and can recognize what you're getting, you're not rushed into making that first throw. And I think a lot of that just comes with patience and understanding what you're getting and knowing where the openings are going to be in some of those bracket coverages that he's getting down there. So again, I think just maturity and just some more patience where the game is not really fast down there for him. It's starting to slow down.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say the game slows down even further for him then. What about the progress of Daniel Cage? He looks like he's making a consistent impact now. Can you speak to his progress and how he's better than he was as a freshman last year?
Well, I think it starts with consistency. This was his best game that he's played since he's been at Notre Dame. So, back-to-back weeks, is usually the first level of, finding that kind of player that is elevating. And back-to-back weeks, he was really focused, had a great week of practice. He's been injury-free. He ran into a bit of a issue last year with sleep apnea, and we've got that corrected. He's getting proper rest. He's getting the kind of rest that he needs to be the kind of player that we thought he could be, and he's had 2 really good weeks, and again, this week he was outstanding.
And after the compressed week that you had last week, have you had your fill of Sunday night games?
Yeah, that was a challenge. There's no question that the Sunday night coming right back is certainly, especially the way the game was played, double overtime in a physical game. Proud of the way our guys responded.
Thanks, Brent.
Yeah.
We'll move next to Christopher Heidel with RPM Sports Radio.
Hi, Coach Kelly. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, talk about Kaiser. Did he seem like did he have an off day yesterday? Because he didn't really throw a lot of deep passes. He only averaged like 7-8 yards, on the throw. Is that just he just had an off day, or he just what happened yesterday?
I had a bad day calling deep passes. I just most of it was just poor play calling.
And talk about coming up against Michigan State, one of the old rivals. What do you guys have to do this week with them? Because they seem like they're a great team on offense and both sides of the football.
I have a lot of respect for Mark, and Coach D'Antonio is always going to present a very physical team in all 3 phases. Our games each and every year that we've played have been close, hard fought, and we expect the same again this year.
Well, have a good week in practice.